Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Secretary Kendall, I wanted to ask you, Congress has sent a very clear congressional intent that we would like the department to ramp up towards total rate production. More specifically, the Air Force needs to make investments necessary to ramp F-35 production to 60 on a path to 80 per year. And yet the Air Force is only planning for 48 F-35s a year for the next 5 years. And we're just not buying enough F-35s in adequate necessary numbers to recapitalize the aging fighter fleet. The F-35 is not only the most advanced fighter in the world, but also the most cost-effective to buy and maintain, as our allies are concluding. Do you believe that the Air Force should be buying more F-35s?
Congressman, I think we have a sound balance in our budget between acquisition of new capabilities like the F-35, investment in development of the next generation of capabilities like the next generation air dominance, and sustainment of the current fleet. Yeah, we try very hard to get the balance right between the current force, the force we can have within the next few years, and the longer term force. What we see overall is the threat increasing over time. And so we have to do a combination of things to try to balance out the risk over time as we make our investments. So we have accepted some risk in the current force. We have tried to move forward modernization, like we did increase the F-35 buy this year. We also increased and extended the F-15EX buy. And we're also investing heavily in the next generation beyond that. So we have tried to get a trajectory, if you will, which accounts for the levels of risk in each of those time frames and responds to them appropriately.
Do you think
we think the balance is about right.
So you think okay. General Brown, I want to ask you, the recent funding announcement for the initial collaborative combat aircraft fleet seems to be a step in the right direction for modernization. The technology to develop and field CCAs is obviously maturing rapidly, and they will likely be in service prior to the next gen air dominance fighters. In the interim, do you intend to pair the initial tranche of CCAs with your most capable fighter, which is the F-35, and are there investments we need to make in F-35s now so they will be ready to team with CCAs when they come online?
We do intend to not only put it with the next generation air dominance, but also with the F-35. I think since we're early in the process for CCAs, it may be too early to actually determine what we would put into the F-35 to allow that capability. But in the big scheme of things, what we want to be able to do is make whatever we do with CCAs transportable to many platforms, not just the F-35 next generation air dominance, but there may be other capabilities and other platforms we can put it on to increase our overall capability.
Oh, good. And with the advent of large CCAs that will soon join the U.S. Air Force fleet, it further highlights the need for modern ABMS network architecture that can leverage commercial innovation, such as 5G technology. And do you think the Air Force will be far enough along in building the new data networks to leverage the CCAs when they come online, perhaps before the end of the decade?
I do, and this is one of the areas where Secretary Kendall for our C3 battle management put Major General Cropsey in charge to bring together our architecture and move forward to bring us that capability, which will support not only our collaborative combat aircraft, but many other capabilities in our command and control systems for the Air Force, and also in support of the joint team as well.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Secretary Kendall, I want to ask you something more personnel related. With all of the talk now around recruitment levels being low and so many of the branches struggling, how is the Air Force addressing issues related to diversity and inclusion in its recruiting and retention efforts? And what steps are they taking to promote a culture of respect and professionalism within the ranks, especially now with so many of these types of programs under attack? Which is unfortunate because the military, in many regards, has been the model for people being able to seek promotions and be able to have some sort of advancements in their career.
Yeah, thanks, Congressman Veasey. It's all about readiness. It's all about the effectiveness of the force. We want a force that represents America. It's a diverse country. We're going to have a diverse force, so we want our people to be as capable as possible at building teams of diverse people. So we do training to help people with that exercise. We're trying to bring in the human capital from the U.S. wherever it may be, including traditionally less represented groups. the operational field, something that General Brown and I have talked about a lot, is severely underrepresented in
Gentleman's
in
time
some
expired.
areas.
Chair, and I recognize the gentleman from Texas, Mr.